Three storm systems are lining up over the next 10 days. 175 inches of snow is headed for the Sierras, and a Valentine's Day storm just shifted 50 miles west overnight. That westward shift changes everything for Georgia and the Carolinas, and if you're making weekend plans, the timing on this matters. We've got severe weather brewing from East Texas to Alabama, flooding rain for Arkansas, and snow mixing in for the Carolina High Country by Sunday. I've got a lot to cover, so let me get straight into it, starting with who needs to pay attention right now. Drop your city in the comments. I want to know where you're watching from and what your Valentine's plans look like this weekend. And if you've got family anywhere from Houston to Charlotte, you might want to send them this, because this storm affects millions of people. Let's start with what's happening right now, because we've already got snow falling across New England. A clipper system dropped down from Canada this morning, and it's putting down inch-per-hour snow rates across Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Boston, your visibility could drop under half a mile this afternoon when those heavier bands push through. If you're heading home from work today, give yourself an extra 20 minutes. Those roads are getting slick fast. By tomorrow morning, interior New England will have 3 to 6 inches on the ground, maybe more in the higher terrain. Nothing crazy by New England standards, but enough to make your Wednesday commute a pain. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, the Sierras are about to get absolutely buried. A cutoff low sitting off the California coast is pumping moisture into those mountains like a fire hose. The blend of models is showing 175 inches at the highest peaks over the next 10 days. Let that sink in. That's nearly 15 feet of snow, with rates hitting 5 to 6 inches per hour at times. Utah's mountains are looking at 12 to 18 inches. The Colorado Rockies getting hammered too. And honestly, this is exactly what the West needs. Snowpack has been running 30 to 40% below normal all winter. La Nina is finally weakening. The subtropical jet is waking up, and that means more moisture flowing into California. This could put a real dent in the drought, and reservoir levels might actually recover this spring. That's storm number 1, beneficial snow for the West and a clipper for New England. But storm number 2 is the one that's going to impact the most people, and that's your Valentine's Day system. Here's the deal. A powerful low-pressure system is building right now off the Pacific, and it drops into the southern plains by Friday. The European model, overnight, pulled this thing 50 miles farther west than the previous run showed. That matters because it means more warm air getting pulled up from the Gulf, and more warm air means more storm fuel. Friday night into Saturday, this thing lights up across Texas and Oklahoma. Dallas was 72 degrees yesterday, but by Saturday night, you could be dodging 50 miles per hour wind gust and heavy rain. That's a completely different world in 48 hours, and it shows you how fast this system is moving. East Texas and Louisiana, this is where the severe threat is highest right now. The Gulf is open for business. Warm, moist air is streaming north, and that's jet fuel for supercells. We could see isolated tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail. The whole menu's on the table Saturday night. Arkansas is ground zero for the heaviest rain. Some spots could pick up 4 to 5 inches before this wraps up. That corridor from Oklahoma City through Little Rock to Memphis is where storms could train over the same areas for hours. When that happens, flash flooding becomes a serious concern. So stay out of low-lying areas and don't drive through flooded roads. Real quick, if you're anywhere in the Gulf Coast states right now, drop a comment. Are you ready for this? I want to know what preparations you're making and whether your county has a plan. Here's where it gets tricky, and this is what separates a bad storm from a dangerous one. Saturday night into early Sunday morning is when the severe threat peaks for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. That timing is brutal because overnight storms catch people asleep and not paying attention. More people die from tornadoes at night than during the day, and it's specifically because of this timing issue. So here's what I need you to do if you're in these states. Charge your phone fully before bed Saturday night. Make sure your weather alerts are turned on and know exactly where your safe spot is before the storms arrive. Birmingham could wake up to thunder around 4 or 5 a.m. Sunday. Atlanta Metro sees it closer to 10 a.m. By Sunday afternoon, the line pushes into the Carolinas, hitting Charleston, Savannah, and Myrtle Beach. Florida Panhandle and Central Florida, you're on the southern edge, but still need to watch for afternoon storms Sunday. What really caught my eye in the latest data is what's happening on the cold side of this system. Colder air is trying to wrap around the back of the low, sliding down the spine of the Appalachians. For western North Carolina, the high country around Boone and Blowing Rock, that means rain changing to snow Sunday. We're not talking a blizzard, maybe 2 to 4 inches. But if you're driving through those mountains Sunday afternoon, be careful. Temps will be right around freezing, and that's when roads get the slickest. Not cold enough to treat, too cold to be safe. West Virginia and the Virginia mountains are in the same boat. Could see a few inches mixing in Sunday evening. Raleigh-Durham, you're probably just looking at a cold, miserable rain, but I-40 west of there could get interesting. The big question on everyone's mind is whether this becomes a nor'easter when it reaches the coast. The European model has been hinting at it, showing the low strengthening as it tracks up toward the mid-Atlantic. But here's the catch. The previous model run kicked it out to sea with minimal impacts. A 50-mile difference in track is the difference between a foot of snow and a cold drizzle. That's how tight the margins are. We need a few more model runs to nail this down, and I'll have those numbers for you as soon as they drop. Let me break down the cities now, because I know that's what you really want to hear. Starting with the areas taking the biggest hit from this Valentine's Day system. Dallas-Fort Worth, temps dropping from the 70s into the 50s. Thunderstorms Saturday night. Wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. If you've got outdoor Valentine's plans, move them indoors or go early. Saturday evening is your window. Houston, 55 to 70 degrees. Heavy rain Saturday, but you're south of the worst severe threat. San Antonio and Austin, rain and storms possible, but you're on the western edge, not the bullseye. Oklahoma City, 40 to 55 degrees. 2 to 4 inches of rain, more of a flood threat than a wind threat. Little Rock, you're in the crosshairs. 3 to 5 inches of rain possible. Watch those creeks and low water crossings. Memphis, 45 to 55 degrees, rain all day Sunday. Thunder possible, bring the umbrella if you're going anywhere. Nashville, same story, 45 to 55 degrees, steady rain Sunday. The drought-stricken areas actually need this badly. Look, I know a lot of you have dinner reservations Saturday night, so let me give you the real talk. Early evening Saturday, you're probably fine across most of the southeast. The heavy stuff doesn't arrive until late. But if you're planning a late movie or a walk after dinner, bring that umbrella because the rain is coming in. You might walk into the restaurant under clear skies and walk out into a downpour. That's just the timing on this. Birmingham, 50 to 60 degrees, storms possible early Sunday morning. Have alerts on before bed. Atlanta, 50 to 60 degrees, rain and thunder Sunday morning into early afternoon. The good news for Atlanta is the timing. You'll be awake when the worst of it comes through. New Orleans, 55 to 65 degrees. Storms possible Saturday night, but the heaviest rain stays north of the city. Jacksonville, 60 to 70 degrees. Afternoon thunder possible Sunday as the tail end sweeps through. Tampa and Orlando, 65 to 75 degrees. Some instability Sunday afternoon could spark isolated storms. Charlotte, 48 to 58 degrees. Rain Sunday, but the mountains north and west of you could see snow mixing in. Raleigh, 45 to 55 degrees, rain arriving late Saturday night. Plan for a soggy Sunday. Shifting to the northeast, and honestly, you guys are catching a break this week. New York City, 40 to 50 degrees, mostly quiet through the weekend. Might see some rain late Sunday if the storm tracks close. Boston, 38 to 48 degrees, clipper snow today, then drying out. Above average temps for February. Philly, D.C., Baltimore, all running 42 to 55 degrees. One of the nicest stretches you've had all winter. Enjoy it while you can because this pattern isn't going to hold forever. And that brings me to storm number 3, the one that's still building out over the Aleutian Islands. This is a much colder system, and it's going to reshape the pattern as we head into late February. Cold air that's been bottled up in Alaska and Western Canada is finally going to break loose. By the third week of February, we're seeing signals of that cold air pushing south into the northern plains and Midwest. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, you've been running warm, but that's about to change. When that cold air collides with moisture streaming up from the Gulf, that's when we get the big storms. I'm already watching signals that suggest late February could bring a significant winter event to the Great Lakes or Northeast. Too early for specifics, but the ingredients are coming together: cold air, moisture, and storm energy. So if you're a snow lover who's been disappointed this winter, don't give up yet. We might have something for you. Let me run through the rest of the Midwest because the warm story there is remarkable. Chicago, 25 to 35 degrees right now with clipper snow. But by Monday, you could be pushing 55. That's a 25-degree swing in less than a week. Your body doesn't even know what season it is. Minneapolis still cold at 15 to 30 degrees, but even you will feel this warm up by midweek. Detroit, 28 to 38 degrees, lake effect snow showers today, then gradually warming. Cleveland and Buffalo, both in the lake effect zone, a few inches today, then drying out nicely. Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincinnati, all running 30 to 45 degrees. Quiet and pleasant for February. St. Louis and Kansas City, 35 to 45 degrees. The ridge is keeping you 15 to 20 degrees above average. Feels like early April out there, not mid-February, so enjoy it while it lasts. Out west, the story is all about that moisture pipeline finally delivering. Denver, 35 to 50 degrees, multiple waves of snow through mid-month, 5 to 15 inches total for the Front Range. Salt Lake City, 30 to 45 degrees, mountain snow piling up. Ski resorts are finally getting what they need. San Francisco, 50 to 60 degrees, rain coming in waves. This is drought relief in action. LA, 55 to 65 degrees, light rain at times, nothing too concerning for the valleys. Seattle and Portland, 40 to 52 degrees, rain for the lowlands, snow stacking up in the Cascades. Phoenix and Vegas, dry and mild at 55 to 75, typical desert winter. You're not part of this story. Anchorage, you're getting hammered with a powerful Gulf of Alaska storm, heavy snow and high winds. But for Alaska in February, that's just Tuesday. You guys know how to handle it. Let me give you the bottom line on what to expect and what you need to do. 3 storms, 3 different impacts, 3 different parts of the country. Storm 1 is already here. Clipper snow for New England. Feet of snow for the Sierras. Beneficial moisture for the West. Storm 2 is the Valentine's Day system. Severe weather from Texas to Alabama. Heavy rain for Arkansas and Tennessee. Possible snow for the Carolina Mountains. Storm 3 is still developing, but it's going to bring a pattern flip that could set up winter weather for the last week of February. Here's what I need from you based on where you are. Gulf Coast states, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, have your alerts on Saturday night. Know your safe spot. Take this seriously. Arkansas and Tennessee Valley, watch for flooding. Stay off flooded roads. Turn around, don't drown. Carolina and Virginia mountains, be ready for snow Sunday afternoon. Don't get caught on the wrong side of a mountain pass. Northeast, enjoy the mild weather, but keep those shovels handy. Late February could get interesting. West, if you're in the mountains, respect the avalanche danger. Chain up on those passes. Don't take risks. And everybody making Valentine's plans, check the timing for your city. Early Saturday evening is your best bet in the South. I want to hear from you before I wrap up. If you're in New England, what are you measuring from this clipper? Drop your totals in the comments. If you're out west watching the Sierra snow, let me know what's falling at your elevation. And if you're in the Southeast making Valentine's plans, are you going early or risking the rain? Your observations help me verify what the models are showing, and they help everyone watching understand what's really happening. If you've got family in any of these areas, do me a favor and share this with them. That's what this is about. Looking out for each other when the weather gets serious. The new European model drops in about 6 hours, and if this Valentine's Day storm shifts again, everything I just told you could change. I'll be back with those numbers as soon as they come in, so make sure you're subscribed to catch that update. 3 storms, 10 days, and February isn't done with us yet. Stay safe out there, make smart decisions this weekend, and don't let this storm ruin your Valentine's Day. I'll see you in the next update.